Hi everyone, this is the last sheet that I'm going to be doing as part of my sort of Agotapop Advent series. So we finished this one yesterday, and before we did this sheet of the smaller designs, so I picked this one because that takes us up to the 24th, so I thought that would be good. And so we've got a cute little bear to colour today. Let us come in close and have a little look at him. I've just realised my light isn't on. I am just going to pop it on in a minute so that I can see what I'm doing, or else I end up getting very strained eyes. There we go. It probably makes very little difference to what you can see. So what do we have? We have a bear, lots of prezzies, Christmas tree. And there's a sort of heart theme here. So we have heart on the tree, heart on his paws, and heart on the paper, which I think is ever so cute. Now let's start by colouring our bear. I'm just having a look at my various colours. I think I'm going to go for the brown sugar. Make him a nice warm browny colour, if I can find it. There it is. These are my Derwent Chromaflow pencils, by the way. Oops, there it is, brown sugar. So I'm looking carefully at him because he has a stripy jumper on. Now potentially he could have trousers on, and I think he does, because if you look at his face, we've got a bit of fur drawn in, but we don't have that here. So I think he could be wearing a little stripy jumper and jeans, and so we'll just do his face, ears, feet, and then do the others in a bit of colour. Gives us a bit of different colour as well. So I'm going to go down fairly hard with this because I think this might be my only colour for his fur. It's a little bit orangey maybe, but I don't think it matters. I do need to sharpen it though. Excuse me. So his little nose, I'm going to do a slightly different colour though. But he's a cutie, isn't he? Actually, Agotapop, I think, has an advent calendar download with just all really cute little critters in, bears, and I think there's penguins, I'm thinking, but I haven't done it myself yet. She did send it to me as a freebie, which is very kind of, I've got a little heart there and those as well. As she does with all of her downloads, she sends them to me for free, which is very kind of her because, you know, I'd be happy to pay. But it means that I can show them all to you as well. Now that is really uneven, so I'm going to go back over it in a circular movement to try and just even out that fur. I was thinking that it might be better if it was sort of up and down, but I don't think it will. So I'm just going to try and even it out a little bit. Now what I'm doing is by going around in little circles, it tends to eliminate out any directional lines that you may have put into your colouring like I have. You may not have done that at all. Also I can do more in areas that I think are a little bit lighter. So that might be good as well, and hopefully I'll get a more even look or a more furry look without gaps of white and things like that. I had a lovely walk this morning. I've just had lunch actually. I haven't done very much yet. I updated my website and did a little bit of social media stuff, but nothing like proper. And but I had to go and swap my boy's suit, which was the wrong size, but he's now got one that's the right size. Hurrah! So I think he's almost completely sorted for his interview. He put his shoes. He'll need some smart shoes. Anyway, so that's him, and so I had to walk. It takes about 35 minutes to walk to the place where I bought it, and then the same back, of course. So I did that, but it was lovely because so many of the houses, maybe 1 in 4 that I saw, either had a wreath on their door. I could see some Christmas lights through the window, or Christmas trees, or decorations of some sort. It was just so festive. I just felt like I smiled for the whole walk because I just absolutely love seeing people's decorations. It was just so lovely. And actually I was very tempted to buy some lights to put on the outside of my house so that I could spread the love, as it were, and do the same for other people. But actually I decided that we could probably do without spending that money, so I didn't. It's an expensive time of year, isn't it? And although we're fine, I like to be careful, you know, it's just my way. I'm just looking for a colour for his nose. I'm going to use the willow because it's very slightly on the orangey side, I think. So make it a little bit darker. Yeah, so it's an expensive time of year. Also, my husband's got quite a big tax bill to pay in January, and I've got a very small tax bill to pay in January. Yeah, so we're just being careful. It's not, you know, we're not, I think I'm going to do the inside the ears like this too. We're not going to have to we've cut back a little bit on our Christmas present spending, just a tad, just to make sure we're not, I'm going to put a bit of shadow there, being silly with it. You know, some years you feel like you can splash out a bit more than others, and it's absolutely fine. Since husband's semi-retired, I'm just being a little bit cautious. I'm a cautious person, you know. I'm looking for a colour for his nose and paws. I'm thinking black, and then I'm wondering whether no or yes. Good decision making here. I am going to grab the black to do the eyes. We've got the eyes here. Yeah, so I'm just a cautious person, so I like to make sure that we're okay. So I've just cut down a little bit, you know, like normally I might spend £25 on as presents, I spend 20, and then if you spread that across all the presents that I buy, you know, that's quite a big saving really. You know, you could, it's like a week shopping. So you think, well, that's quite, you know, and people probably won't even notice. So if you're careful with what you spend, people won't notice. I'm looking for this nose slash paw colour, and I think I'm going to go, keep turning my pencil case back and forth, with the coffee bean. So a really dark brown. It might look quite blackish, but it might, if I do it lightly, then it will look browner. Oh, he is such a cutie pie. But yes, I had a super walk, a super time, and then went into town, bought some stamps, spoke to the folk at the post office because it's under threat of closure, which is quite scary. They're shutting all the post offices which aren't franchises, and ours isn't. So I spoke to the staff, but he said, I'm going to use the pure red for the hat. He said it won't be closing, they'll find someone to run it, and he said so it might mean the staff will be different because they'll, you know, they might bring their own staff in, which would be a shame. But he said there will be, the facility will still be there, which is really lucky, because if you want to buy a stamp for, let's say, a foreign letter, you can't buy that anywhere. You can go to a supermarket and you can buy a book of stamps for UK mail, but if you want one for a foreign letter, you have to go to a post office. You can't just buy it in any old shop. And the same with I use the post office for paying in cheques, and I know cheques are something, I'm going to do a red stripe on the jumper. I know cheques are something that people don't always use anymore, but I'm very lucky and I usually get a cheque for Christmas from father-in-law, and as does my husband and my boys. That's how he does his Christmas presents. So I've got a really itchy eye. Oh, and so we have to pay them in. Now I can post them, but I would much rather pay it in person to somewhere to know that I've handed it over and had a receipt. Do you know what I mean? And the bank that we bank with does not have a branch in our town. In fact, it doesn't have any branches at all. It's an online bank, so we've got no other choice but to pay it in there. This is jungle green. When we opened the account back in 1999 or something like that, yeah, it would have been jungle green. There again, you just thought post offices would be there forever. You know, there was never the thought that they might have to close. I mean, it has been privatised as a company, and that was done probably back in the 80s or 90s, I'm guessing. But you still expect it to be around. Now, I'm in two minds here. Do I do the Santa hat with this green instead of making it white? And I'm going to do that just to be a bit different, because I've done so many Santa hats with just white fur. I'm going to do it green. Now, if you do it in a round and round motion like this, you can get a little bit of texture in it. Now I'm going to look at that and decide whether I think it just looks like scribble. Does look a bit scribbly. I'm going to go over it again. If I layer it over a few times, it might look less like scribble. That's better, I think. Now this one doesn't look fluffy, does it? I think I'll just block it in. But anyway, it's the way our high streets are. I don't know whether all countries are suffering, but because people shop online and they go to out of town shopping areas, and yeah, it means people don't visit their high street, and it's really tricky. And I can sort of understand it, because the out of town shopping areas tend to have the big brands, because they can't afford the rent in the town centre, and they can get a much bigger store for the same rent as a small one. So that makes such a big difference. And people are driving, so they'll come further as well, you know, further afield to shop. As what we do have a fairly decent amount of shops in our town centre, but you know, it's still empty ones. I am going to try and find the denim. There it is, to do the jeans. I think they're I want to do them as jeans. I know blue is not Christmassy, but that's okay. You know, I'm wearing jeans. They're absolutely filthy. I walked along the canal path to get to the towards the place I was going, because otherwise you have to walk on a really busy road which only has a pavement on one side, and it swaps sides halfway, so you have to cross this busy road. And it was sort of 8:30, 9-ish when I was there, so it would have been rush hour, so it would have been really busy, so I didn't want to do that. So I decided that I would just walk along the canal path. So I waited until it was light before I left, because I don't feel safe along there in the dark. But once it's light, it's fine, because there's loads of people use it once it's light. You know, lots of dog walkers and joggers and just people going to work and things like that. That was really muddy. So although there's a path, they put a path in quite a while ago. But I'm just going to go over that again. It's all covered in leaf mulch, so it's just gone all muddy in most places. There's a few places where it's still okay, where there's no trees overhanging it. But anyway, so my trousers are covered in mud, but I need to do a wash tomorrow anyway. But I need to, so many boring jobs. I need to swap the washing around so that it dries on the radiators and things. Right, so boring. Christmas tree I'm going to do next. I'm going to use a very different shade of green to what I've used for the hat, I think. I'm just wiping my nose at the thought of it. Pine green would be, yeah, sounds appropriate, doesn't it? Where are you, pine green? not there. Here we go. Fine. Now, I tend to do the Christmas tree so a bit darker at the top and lighter as we go down towards the bottom of the branch. I might do the same thing here. But yes, I had a jolly walk, went into town, bought a few more Christmas cards because I'd run out. And now I've got about 3 spare. It's always a good idea to have some spare ones because there's always someone who sends you one and you haven't sent them one and you're like, oh, I forgot that person, I'm terrible, I need to send them one, or something like that. Although some years I used to always get a card from someone called Joe and it was addressed to me, only me, and I've never known who that person was. They're in the UK and I just didn't know. And it was J-O, which is the female way to spell Joe, but I just didn't know anyone called that, and it was a mystery. I wonder, but as I say, it was addressed to me, so it wasn't like it was for the people who used to live in this house before us or anything like that. It was just so strange. But anyway, that's all good. But yes, so they're all done. I'd written most of them. The ones that had to be posted, I put stamps on and then ran out, so I had to get stamps as well. But we're all good, we're all ready to post. So, and it's the 4th of December. I'm going to get them in the post sooner rather than later, I think, because I like knowing that they're gone, really, and they're on their way. And the post gets busier and busier, you know, towards Christmas. So it's important to sort of get it done early, I always think. And they always, last Christmas, I think the delivery, the Royal Mail postal delivery went on strike and everything was late. I think it was last Christmas. But anyway, our Royal Mail local branch seems quite short staffed, so I just think the sooner I get them in the post the better. So I may do that soon, maybe later today, but I doubt it. I doubt I want to go back out again after walking so long. I think I was walking for I think I was looking at my Fit app on my phone and it said I'd done 40 heart points, which is my daily goal. So normally I don't do that much, so you know, it's rare for me to hit that. I think it was 90 something minutes, of exercise, I can't remember. But my mum will ring me later and I shall walk around the room while she's on the phone. But I might not get any more heart points because that measurement on my app is, you have to be going a certain speed to sort of get your heart rate up a bit. And I won't be doing that while I'm on the phone to my mum. Right, there is our tree. It's looking, I'm going to sneeze. Excuse me. I usually stop the video when I sneeze. It's looking a little bit liney, which was purposeful to excuse me, to make it look a bit more like pine needles. If you want to emphasize the overhang of the branches more, you can put some darker color under there, but I think that's fine. I'm not that worried about doing more. But let's think about that heart on the top. I want to do a nice pink one. Oh, now now what pinks do we have that I think would work? I think the orchid might, yeah, I'm just looking at what I think will go with the is that the right one? Yeah, what will go with the green on the tree. So the orchid. Oh, sorry, I'm all snippy now. I don't know what brought that on all of a sudden. I'm going to sharpen this, and I think I might do some of the baubles this colour. I was thinking of just doing them all in metallic, but I don't think I will. I think I need to match them in with this. I've been doing a bit more sort of, let's do all the big ones, pinky purpley type colours in my Christmas decoration colouring this year. I know that I will get bored of red and gold and green, so I want to mix it up a little bit because I don't want to get bored. So I think we'll do the rest in a sort of light purpley colour. I could do the Aztec purple, or the Jupiter is a bit too close. I'm going to go for the Aztec purple after having a giant yawn. Too much fresh air, my mum used to say. I think too little sleep. I woke up as 5 this morning. There was a noise. My son woke up as well. And I don't know whether whatever the noise was woke us both up. I'm going to add some glitter and some white pen to this later, but we're going to finish colouring the gifts first. I had thought about doing this one in blues, but we've got the blue trousers. So let's do something a little bit different. Let's do it in orange and yellow. It's not a combo that I would use that often, but I think, why not? Why would presents match flame? Unless they're presents Bear is wrapped to give to people. If they're presents he's receiving, they'll be all a big mix of paper. And as I say, I want to do a few different colours just to keep my interest in, if you know what I mean. And wrapping paper does come in all sorts of different colours. Not very often orange, but why not? And orange and purple have a bit of a clashing thing going on, which actually I think works quite well today. You may not agree now. Yellow, I am going to use the sun yellow. So a more, I'd say a more lemony yellow it is. It's not as green as lemon yellow, but it's very bright, it's not orangey. I think it just gives a different sort of contrast for us. There we go. I mean, you could colour it as if it was ribbon, but I'm just doing it as if it's a stripy paper. Now we've got our little heart one, so we're going to use a different colour pink for our heart. I'm going to use the cerise pink. I like this pink. I'm not into very many pinks, but I do like this one. I know he's holding a present that I need to think about as well, but I couldn't decide, so I knew I wanted heart to be pink, so that's why I've skipped over to this one. It's quite a reddish pink, like a carmine, and I prefer that sort of shade. What time is it? Oh, my son should be on the train. He's had just a morning in today. He said his teacher wasn't there today, and so they had a sort of double lecture last week, and this week they had a sort of double practical class, and in the practical class they basically follow through a worksheet, so they can do that without the teacher there, although they've got someone standing in to just help them if they need it. But here is the blush pink. I'm going to put it all over here because it works with this colour pink. We can go right over what we've done already. It makes it a lot easier to get a nice even colour. Now, I wouldn't do this all the time, it depends what colour that I'm covering over, but I think it works quite well here. It's quicker as well, but I'm not in a rush, but if you are, then but I just think it looks a little bit neater. If you're trying to go around things, it can look a bit messy. Now we have a little parcel here. Thinking about, I think we could do this one blue because it's quite far away from the trousers, so I think we'll do that. What blue should we use? That's a nice blue. Let's use the Santorini for the paper. Just going to give it a sharpen. I'm quite excited. I've got my next morning series planned. I think that it may have started by the time this one goes out, but I was umming and ahhing about what to do, and I found something that's will be fairly, the videos could potentially be very short, but I might make them longer depending on how much, you know, how much I talk. It means that I can get quite a lot done quite quickly, ready for the time of year when it gets busy. I'm really hoping I can get the whole of December's videos done before Christmas, and then I can have a little bit of time off. And I'm gonna go dark, I think. I don't like that colour though. I think I'm going to try the lagoon. It is really dark. We'll see what happens. I'm going to sharpen it. Yeah, so I have a bit of time off because I've got days already planned when I've got to be out or entertaining or whatever. Then it's quite tricky. The family will be here. The boys will have work due in, they might need help with that. So, you know, it could potentially be quite a busy time, as it is for everyone. But it's nice to think that I will be able to get myself a little bit more organised. I'm going to use the Golden Sun. Oh, I picked up the wrong pencil. Where are you? There you are. I just talk to my pencils. Just let me talk to them. Don't question it. And do a sort of gold looking decoration. There we go. Now this gift, what should we do? What colour is Bear's gift? I think the ribbon, oh dear, could be a Golden Sun again, sort of goldish colour. I'm going to fade it a bit towards the middle though, and take it up there, like that. Now this needs to be a bit darker at the bottom, lighter towards the top if you can. A bit tricky. And the same with this one, I think that's how I'm going to colour it. So you basically need to layer your yellow up a lot more down here. So you can colour the whole thing in like this. Just basically, and then start layering down here. And a bit less layer up here. So it does look a bit darker. There we go. The wrapping itself, I think I'm going to use a darker green. We've used quite a few different greens, but let's have a little look at what we've got. We used the pine for the tree, didn't we? His jumper is quite light. I think I'm going to use the olivine. Here we go. I'm going to put down a fairly light layer to start with. And you'll see why. I'm trying to keep it even. It's not always that easy. And here I want it darker there, where the lid of the box will be shading it a little bit. You see that sort of shadow. Do the same on this side. And I also think there'd be some shadow down the side of our ribbon. And under his paws. Okay, I'm happy with that colouring, that I'm done with that. I'm going to grab the white pen and put some lines on our balls to make them look like they have a bit of shine. They're quite pastel-y, aren't they? But I think they could still be shiny. That bit it's gone all a bit wrong. There we go. I'm going to put a little dot in our bear's eye, like that. Yeah, I think I'm okay there. Now, I feel like I want just a little bit of shadow behind Bear, so that he doesn't look like he's just right flat with the presents. So I'm using this slate grey, and I'm going to put a little bit around him. Like this. And the same on his other side. Like that. And also here, I'm going to put a few more layers here because it's a bit darker. Could do a bit under the hat. To the arms and the gift. Just a little bit here and there. And then here as well. There we go. Okay, now some sparkle. We can use our metallic pens. I've got them here somewhere for some bits, and then so I thought I might use my metallic pink to do around our tree ornaments. Just try and move my pencils out of the way. They're going to catch on my sleeve and fall on the floor. I think that happened yesterday, not in here with these, but I was colouring something with my Prismas yesterday, and I've lost my sandbar brown somewhere on the floor somewhere. My husband is so good at looking for things. I'm hoping he might find it for me. I think because he's got of his ADHD, he loses things a lot, and he's always lost things a lot, and he wasn't diagnosed that quickly, but I think that I can see since his diagnosis that certain things that are a symptom of ADHD he's got, and he's put into place some coping strategies. This is a gold, and I'm going to use it on the bow on this present, which is really quite fascinating. So he does things like at the end of every day he empties his pocket into a very specific place, so that he knows in the morning exactly where his keys, wallet, phone, work pass, those sorts of things that you always need to have with you are. He knows exactly where they are. Now I'm going to use my glittery pen to add some glitter to all my baubles. I know I've already used some metallic, but I want to put glitter on them as well. Why not? Yes, so he's got these techniques like that one in place already, but looking for things he's very good at, because he's lost so many things in his time, and he's very good at looking in the place you wouldn't look. Looking for a pencil. Well, I've looked in the pencil case where it's stored. I've made sure I haven't put it in the wrong slot. I looked on my desk, under my desk, around my desk. Where else could it be? Well, there's all sorts of places it could be. I'm going to put some on there. Should I put some on the gift wrap? I'm feeling I could just want to put a bit between the stripes. Oops, but I can't do a straight line. And around each heart. So he's got very good. Although I lost a black pencil and it just never turned up. But I found a green one under this desk the other day as a Staedtler Agotapop pencil. It was quite short though, but I was like, oh, pencil. Right, I am going to make that do. I think he might have enough sparkles. What do you think? Maybe, maybe not. We've got the cutest picture tomorrow, but for today I am done. Thank you so much for watching, hoping that you have a super day. Take it easy, don't let the stress of Christmas get you down. Do things either to distract you or make a list and tick a few things off. Yes, thank you for watching and happy colouring.